Hello, and welcome to another Pauper video. I'm quite excited about this one again. This looks like it's going to be really fun. Um, I've said in a few of my previous videos that the line I'm trying to hope to take is not, you know, if I say casual, I'm not trying to be a casual channel. The decks are all going to be something that I think, you can win with. Um, but that doesn't mean that I'm against making a deck worse if it's kind of interesting or trying to stress test an idea, if that makes sense. Those are my kind of two lines. Um, you know, the good decks, a lot of them are out there established. We're not necessarily trying to replace them. Uh, that's just too hard to do. But I think that there is a lot of new cards that could be introduced, and that's something that's quite interesting. Um, So the new card that we are trying to look at is Elvish Guidance in Elves. Well, shock horror, it's not in a different deck. Um, I've recorded a first league with this. It worked quite well, but then it was like, okay, well, we actually didn't draw it that many times. It helped us get blown out a few times. That wasn't great. Whereas in this league, our deck is going to be, let's say, entirely based around Elvish Guidance type nonsense. So we have ourselves 4 Elvish Guidance. This makes a land tap for an additional green for each elf on the battlefield. So that makes your land into Priest of Titania plus the original mana. So that basically makes Arbor Elf into a Priest of Titania. So we're kind of running 12 Priest of Titania-like effects. If Arbor Elf becomes Priest of Titania, Quirion Ranger plus Arbor Elf is another Quirion Ranger Priest of Titania type thing. So obviously that can be a lot of mana. Bringing Strike Mastery, the well-known card, is a blue enchantment that taps a creature, but it lets you pay 5 mana to untap something. So you put this on your own creature. If it starts tapping for more than 5 mana, you make infinite mana. Wolves doesn't have to play this. They can play things that creatures they transmute for. A lot of the time they can make either make blue mana directly, in the case of Axebane Guardian, or alternatively they have the guy that can filter green mana into blue mana. I'm not going to worry about that, although those would hit off of. So we can't transmute for it. Not interested in playing the 3 mana transmute spell. Like there's not a elf that does that. Not interested in playing the creatures that need blue mana to untap because we only have one, way of making blue mana. So instead, this is the one we're using. So we have a huge number of Priest of Titania effects. To make this as quick as possible, we're playing a load of 1 mana elves that tap for mana. We've added in Birchlaw Ranger and Jaspera Sentinel as ways to make blue mana for this. We also have Generous Ent for the 1 Tangled Islet. So all in all, we're playing 12 blue sources for our 4 blue effects. The Tangled Islet comes in tap, but if you have an Arbor Elf, you can untap it that turn, so there's kind of potential to not be wasting a turn. Once we have infinite mana by having either 6 elves and a Priest Titania or 5 elves, a Elvish Guidance and an Arbor Elf, and we've made infinite mana, we can either kill them with Nyxborn Hydra, this is the easy way, or we can find our Nyxborn Hydra with a Beast Rider Vanguard, which is a new, what's this, Aether Drift card. I'm playing the 4 Beast Rider Vanguards because, if we have all these ways to make a load of mana, we can use this to activate it, find an Elvish Guidance. This is any permanent, find the missing pieces, Ringing Strike Mastery, and so on. So, the purpose of this deck is mana print that just goes nuts, quick as we can. It's a very fragile combo, but it could be a fun one. I've not put too much thought into the sideboard. This is mostly what I was playing in the previous Elves one. Very macabre. I've just seen that we've actually cut all of the lead the stampede type things, so there's no point in this being a fairy macabre, but this is here. Vici-Guy's Inspector in case we play against fairies. A couple of lead the stampedes because when I was quick, I kind of just cut all the lead the stampedes because I was trying to make room for the 24 1-drops. But obviously this is really good against terror and that type of thing. One Viridian Longbow, which is actually another kill condition if you have infinite mana and can infinite untaps. Maybe this wants to be in the main deck. Who knows? I've not put that much thought into that particular slot. And then 5 Hydroblast, which is basically trying to stop Quarkland Shamans, Breath Weapons. There will be some Drowning Sorrow type decks, but I'm kind of calling my shot on. I don't want to be Quarkland Shaman if I can avoid it. So this is the league, and I'm going to be interested to see how it goes. Hopefully we get to mana printer people, and it's going to go. Hopefully it's going to be fun. Right, let's see how it goes. Right, so we are on the play in round 1. We don't have, for example, an Arbor Elf for this hand, but I'm going to keep. So we are obviously trying to be as explosive as possible. But the downside to this is we've cut like some of the lead the stampede, which I think is the point of this is to really try and push the limits on whether this is feasible to go all in on a plan here. Oh hey, hey. So we're going to have infinite mana next turn, especially if they're playing elves of their own. We just don't have a payoff for it yet. If we play Arbor Elf, we can still play the Dwynen's Elite. Elf Printer, go brrr. Yep. You will also have a lot of mana. But we got there! This is a turn 3, right? We must be able to make basically untap a forest. Quirion is +1 mana, and it's a free untap. So green, untap this, untap this, pick up this, play this. 3 mana, Elvish Guidance here. Tap this, untap this. Tap this, make 8 mana. Make a blue mana. Enchant this. Our creature is tapped. Paid 5 to untap this. Wow, turn 3 on our first game. Tap, untap this forest. Show you a Beast Rider Vanguard. Untap our guy. Untap our forest. Let's just do this a few times so that we can't mess up. Untap this forest. We'll do it once more to avoid potential mess ups, and if we're comboing, we'll always try and leave this untapped, pay 5 mana, try and find an Nyxborn Hydra, or a Arbor Elves, which is just an extra mana each loop. Untap this forest, tap this forest, untap this guy, untap this forest, tap this forest, untap this guy. Look at the top 3 cards. Find a random elf. Play a random elf. You'll never believe this, but we're going to untap this forest, then we're going to tap this forest, then we're going to untap this guy. Let's see what we see. This one is an Nyxborn Hydra. So our search is over. Then we're going to untap this forest. You're never going to believe this, but we're actually going to untap the Arbor Elf as well. Then we're going to untap this forest. Can't believe we turned 3'd on our first game. And our Dwynen's Elite came into play last turn. So we will bestow a big old Hydra on it, I guess we'll leave ourselves 5 mana. We can do, which is enough to untap our guy. And then we will attack with a 29/29 because it's on turn 3, and that's what we do. You know? Who needs turn 4? So that's pretty nuts. Obviously, everything came together quite well there. Can we repeat the performance? Let's take a Viridian Longbow. They're going to have a bunch of mass vandals, so we want to save this. But elves, I'm going to say elves might be a good matchup. We don't want to be deglamoured. We want to keep all of our glamours. Longbow's got to be worth like cutting a random Elvish Mystic or a Birchlaw for. Probably Birchlaw's the worst one. Don't want any of these. And I don't think this matchup I'm sideboarding in lead the Stampede. Well, we just want to do that again, don't we? That was sick. So we start off with a friendly mulligan. And then we're likely going to have infinite mana if, and we've got the blue source. So let's keep this, put back a forest. So turn 1 Lana Elves, turn 2 Priest, play this. We might turn 3 them again. That would be so nuts. Just way to win the Elf Mirror. Yeah, so long as we can make what we need 6 elves in play. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they're going to have to play along for this to work. Well, I say for this to work, for the combo to be turn 3. Don't see any reason why we wouldn't just play the priest, play the islet. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5. So if we draw an elf, we win. A second Nyxborn Hydra, that's not an elf. Yeah, so we can tap and untap our priest as many times as we want, but it doesn't do anything. I guess we'll just play a Generous Ant. An opponent can't play a creature while they die. 6 mana. This is a Generous Ant. There are many like it, but this one is extremely generous. We could untap a land, replay a land, but we should have done. We didn't. Go on, play any spell. I guess not a Viridian Longbow. Ding ding ding. A true gentleman. 2 elves. Oh, now you're just being too kind. Well, I guess they're not too kind. Too kind would have been letting us turn 3 them twice. I don't see why we wouldn't block. I'm not going to play around. I don't think they're going to have anything. Like, just let's not be at 3 life for no reason. Tap this, make a load of mana in case something goes wrong. Cast this here. Oh, the Elf Mirror just becomes utterly disgusting. Oh, I love it. Oh, we need to untap a guy. Bear in mind that they will have a absurd amount of Timberwatch Elf pumps. But even if they have a Declamor, it's not good enough because we have 2 Hydras and a Beast Rider Vanguard, so we're just full of payoffs. Maybe we should play out the Vanguard and just see if they'll scoop to that. No. I'm going to activate it once as well. I think this is still quicker than trying to... Oh hey, Dwine's that's 2 elves. That's 2 less clicks per cycle. But yeah, so... Oh, but it's also 2 more elves for their Timberwatch elf. So we need to be able to do 40... 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. And I don't know, maybe we need to do 46 twice in case they've got some weird, like, snuff outy thing. I'm having too much fun just clicking to not want to make 2 50 power Hydras. We have 17 minutes on our clock to do so, and I hope you will indulge me for ensuring that our Elves opponent gets maximally smooshed. Right, nearing the point R. What's quite nice is it's, there's quite a lot of clicks, but it's not as many as a lot of Pauper combos. So, although clicking 50 times for the Hydras each is going to be a bit of a pain. Let's leave this untapped. Bestow an X1 Hydra here for X is 50. Bestow an X1 Hydra here for X is 52. And then if this doesn't work, we can also eventually find our... Oh, the bow's a kill condition. That's cool. Like if they were to have fogs, we could Beast Rider Vanguard our way into the longbow, make infinite mana, we've got infinite untaps. Just, that's a lot of clicks. Turn 3, turn forward, get got. Who plays Timberwatch Elf anyway? Right. I don't see what could possibly go wrong. Let's carry on. Right, we are back. We have a hand that can go pretty nuts and does need some more elves. Maybe the opponent will oblige. Opponent does not oblige. I'm assuming this is John Wildfire. Do we Arbor Elf or do we Arbor Elves? Don't know why I'm actually having to think this through. I think I'm just gonna Lanoir. We don't want to get our Elvish Guidance wildfired away, that's for sure. So 1, 2, 3. So we're an elf away from Elvish Guidance, being 2 elves away, so we're a Dwynen's Elite away, which is why we are playing a huge number of Dwynen's Elites. We have 3 mana, which is, we want to get the Arbor Elf in place, we can untap it. I'm just going to play 2 more 1 mana elves and lose a mana. I saw the red mana tap there, and I panicked. So 3 mana Elvish Guidance. We could also just make a huge Hydra. I guess it's not a huge, but it is pretty big. I think we're definitely guiding, right, this turn. We can Guidance and we can Beast Rider Vanguard 1. We've got 7 mana. No, 8 mana, 9 mana. So we could bestow onto this and just smash them for 6. Or we can Vanguard, roll down, and if we hit a Quirion, we can keep going. This kind of, gets some of what I was hoping for, where it's like, this is a really old card, but actually with Hydra it's pretty nice. I'm tempted to just bail out and just bestow this as a big guy. It's pretty good. Kind of, if they're answering this is our blue source, which is a shame. And it does cut off our Elvish Guidance by an extra, cuts off 2 mana. Okay, if they have a Croak and a Toxin, we're just dead anyway. If they don't have a Toxin, then we're just hoping the Hydra can run away. Okay, cast down is pretty bad. So we can Dwynen's Elite if they cast down our guy, we don't make the extra dude. So I guess we just attack first. This does stink of a cast down where it's basically just being a fog. Yeah, that's why if they cast down in our turn here. So we don't get to tap our guy for mana because we've done it like that. Oh no, this doesn't have what? This was already in play, so we can attack straight away. I always forget how this works. I'm not entirely sure that's worked correctly, but it has worked in our favour. And then here's just another pair of 2/2s, because when you go to 6, some 2/2s can help. Just going to pause recording to look up what's gone on. So found a ruling that says, rather than the effect making aura ends, it can attack and activate its tap ability percent becomes unattached if it's been under your control continuously since your most recent turn began. So that's suddenly a lot better. That was a hasty 6/7. Oh yeah, so they could have. Oh, we're still losing. That's so bad. I guess I have to sacrifice 3 artifacts. Maybe we can rebuild, but there's an Elvish Guidance. There's a way. I'll keep that as refurb food. Yes, but they could have made us tap our elf by declaring attacks, then effectively gain 6 life. So yeah, the fact that they, neither of us knew how this ruling worked, how bestow works, makes this game look closer than it really truly is. But maybe if they don't have like an insight effect, we can find a way to rebuild with that. I think it's got to be over. Like, I don't know what sequence of cards we draw that rebuilds us. Funny that they kill this and not our Elvish Guidance, but they are not wrong. And I'm gonna get out. Okay, so we were close. We were an elf away, and now we get a load of blue blasts to try and stop Crackland Shamans. What do we cut for stopping Crackland Shaman? It's kind of a tough choice because again we don't like. It's not Birchlaw. It's not Jaspera Sentinel. We could trim a few of our bringing strike masteries. Maybe we could cut an Elvish Guidance or two because they're going to have their own wildfires. I mean, we're trying to do Ringing Strike Mastery and we're kind of trying to do the Guidance. So, what else would we cut? It's probably just that would just be some like Llanowar Elves and stuff, which I don't feel great about. Maybe the Dwynens? Yeah, not putting too much thought into it, but let's do a split something like this. I want to keep something that makes a couple of elves because again we do need to have a certain number in play, and without maybe we want to leave the stampedes back in. Doesn't make a lot of sense when we're cutting a load of or adding a load more hydroblasts. Yeah, all right. Who knows? The important thing is we can hopefully try and blue blast a Crackland Shaman effect. This hand just didn't do anything. This hand isn't great. I'm going to keep back a forest. Oh, well, what if we find a blue source? We might be doing it. I can't beat a Crackland Shaman at this point. We could play the Dwynens and not play the Quirion. I guess we can make a load of mana, but we're not actually. We're still 2 turns away from killing them. We can either draw a blue source or a way to actually kill them, a Hydra or a Beastmaster guy. This can untap if we can find a generous enter land cycle for a blue source. So I kind of feel like I'm going to play the Quirion and just die. But like this gives us having that in play gives us Hydra as whether it's not actually winning, it might be kind of very close. It might just be a lot of power. So we want make 3 mana, play Elvish Guidance on a land, untap this. So if we play Forest and Elvish Guidance, we save ourselves 3 mana for next turn at the low cost of exposing it to a Wildfire. So I think I'm just going to attack for 4 and 4 for 5 and hope that we draw something. I can even keep this in hand as refurb food. Not having the blue sources a bit spooky. We are going to be breath weapons. I think that happens. Obviously, I don't think we can rebuild particularly convincingly. Am I going to play the forest and the guidance? Yeah, just to spend some mana, take a game action, show that we were close as much as anything. I don't think we are likely to. Yeah, I don't think we're likely to rebuild, but this is where we're missing like a lead the stampede or something. Refurb gets a hydroblast, so we can show that we had two things covered. We just didn't have a blue pip. Let's just pass back. Again, not showing respect, which I think is fair. They just need to kill us. Like, Elvish Guidance with no elves in play is pretty embarrassing. So our glass cannon has been disrupted, but we got a cool, and that counts as something. If we had a blue source, I think we were pretty, being able to disrupt that. I guess we still didn't actually draw a way to use the mana, but we are back on the draw in round 3 in our streak of being here for a what's the saying? A good time, not a long time. I'm kind of tempted to keep this. It's just got a load of elves. Make an X-Born Hydra. Again, it means it's got good draws. I don't know. I think this is for a hand that doesn't fit our plan, let's say. I think it's keepable. And then we can play a Jaspera Sentinel on turn 1 in case they have a fairy. Okay, so it's Terror instead. Terror is normally a very good matchup for elves. We have made our deck much worse, and therefore it may no longer be a very good matchup. Let's play the Llanowar Elves. If this resolves, we'll try and play an Arbor Elf. Cool. So happy that that's resolved. Happy to have the Arbor Elf in play. Not so fussed about where are we going with this. Yeah, I wouldn't have been so fussed they counted the Llanowar apart from it would have, stifled essentially an extra mana from us. 2 mana this turn. And now we will just continue to play our horde of crappy 1 mana elves. And we can attack. Oh, joys. And then if they start tapping out, then we can start slamming hydras. How much can we hydra for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's not a huge number, not going to lie. Gets a lot bigger if we draw a Elvish Guidance. That suddenly goes pretty hard. Looks like making a 5/6 Hydra might be useful. And I'm going to slam this now because we've got leftover Hydras. I think they'll counter a Hydra. I know we're 1 short still. Oh, that's a shame. I guess we can still play it because we can block with this and the untapped Sentinel. Block with a 4/5 and a 1/2. They can eat our 4/5. Okay, so hopefully they will not pass with mana up this time. Can't believe we're up to turn 5 already. What are we playing at here? I think we're made of time. Pass with 5 mana up. Okay, well that's good because that's just another creature we could play, right? Or have I miscounted again? 4. Yeah, no, so we still have the same amount of mana as last turn, which is enough for a 1/2 for a 4/5 Hydra, and not anymore. That's a shame. It's less if I get the Islet. We don't need an Islet. Okay, so our hope is that they don't have a 3rd counterspell. We can resolve Elvish Guidance and just absolutely go to town. Fits if they are tapping mana. We could have Spell Pierce, but I think we could actually pay for it. Or they could just play another spell. That's my kind of opponent. Oh, that's so much mana. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Play this first because it's an extra elf. Make 7, untap this. Make 7, untap this, pick up this. Play this, untap this. They're just dead. That's hilarious. Just get got. Just get got. You gonna block? Do you? Okay, so we've got like no sideboard for this matchup, have we? We've got lead. We've got 2 lead the stampedes in a dream, so they can come in. If they're on boomerang, this is worse. If it's demon inferior, it's fine. Maybe I can cut some birch laws because I want birch laws like more blue sources, but we have 9 blue sources: 4 sentinels, the islets, and the 4 generous ents. That was so funny. Just getting people. Elf opponent get got. The Jun person we got. Okay, you can't with them all. Blue terror, just get got. That's up there with the Okay, sorry. Let's get back to what we're doing here. I think we're keeping and we've got to lead the stampede in a dream. Yeah, up there in my previous league where the opponent bounced, what's it called? Bounced an X1 Hydra like 3 times, and the 3rd time it just kept getting bigger and just killed them. Arbor Elf can be gut shot, which I would rather not happen. That would lead me to play the Jaspera Sentinel and then Dwynen's Elite and Birchsaw next turn. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty neither here nor there, but gut shot is definitely on my radar from my time playing the Izzet deck. They reveal a counterspell. Someone flipped Elves, pretty good. I'm just trying to think if we play like Birchlaw first, so that if they have a Force Spike, I think some people run Force Spike. Maybe it's time to run out the Arbor Elf because if they have a counterspell, they could stop it next turn. So actually getting it in play could be useful. Yeah, it's a shame to expose it, but so we have 4 elves. The elf ball plan is working, and our Arbor Elf has not been gut shot yet. I mean, there's no point for them to kill it right now, but I don't think it would be lasting, until our turn, for example. I don't know if we're currently looking at just trying to race an insect celebration on the ground. If they leave up counterspell, we might be morphing a virtual ranger. That's pretty sad. Obviously, lead the stampede is very valuable for us here. Yeah, it looks like we're just morphing a virtual ranger. And then we could play the beast rider afterwards. Or we could play the beast rider and then try and lead the stampede, but then they could have spell pierce. I don't have a huge amount of hope in them countering the birch law. Any word that we just play the Vanguard first? Counterspell that? I feel like the 2-2 morph is really not what the game's going to be about. I'm expecting they're going to play 2 spells in this turn anyway. They're going to counterspell something, and then they're going to do some kind of scry. This gives us the best chance of the turn going how we want, but I don't think they counter this. I don't think it's good enough to make them. And then at this point, are we just attacking for 5? There's no point, like, I'd rather this not get counterspelled. So I don't see why we would let them, given the opportunity. So they have a Lorien, and they have to play some more things to set up a snake. Don't want to see like a mental note thought scour effect. Yeah. Okay, but it's mill some islands. So they have 5 mana, so 4 mana, 5 things. They could play a snake and then still have 2 mana for counterspell. So we're probably leading on the Beast Rider. So what, we just play Beast Rider. Maybe we just play the lead the Stampede. Because the Beast Rider is still so slow. Like, I don't think they're countering this. I don't think they have to. Part of me is tempted to play Hydra. We can play a Hydra for 3/4. Because if we, I could see them countering that. And then, we're just kind of trying to force the, this is getting a counterspell out, or alternatively making the Cryptic Serpent stay home. We're going to be on a stream of chumpers for the Serpent. It was better to keep the Drying to leap back, because if the Hydra resolved, we could have blocked the Serpent and killed it. So first it was lead the Stampede, but if we Elf, we can actually activate the Beast Rider. Is that ever good enough? Because we're like, facing down double chump blocks every turn, so I think we just have to lead the Stampede. I don't think we've got time to do anything else now that there's a second Serpent in play. The fact the opponent is thinking about it is not a good sign for us. They do have another counterspell. We have another Arbor Elves. And we basically need to keep, 5 elves, including the Arbor Elf. Seems like it's going to be tough to do. If we draw like an Elvish Presence, that is. Let's block these 2, take 3 more. Keeping this because it can block in the air at a later turn, even though the Birch Law is also blue mana for a potential ringing bell thingamabob. Any chance you play an elf? Don't mind which. So Dwynen does some chumping, and then we're still going to have 5 mana to activate. So we're on block, 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 activate here. I'm not going to spend too long going through the options here, because I think the chances of it working out is so slim. Choosing to keep this in case we somehow hit I guess our best option is to hit 2 Elvish Guidances. And then we've got infinite mana. Have we? We might have infinite mana. We might just have quite a lot of mana and a Beast Rider guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at the top 3. Guess we're definitely taking an Elvish Guidance. And the Priest of Titania. Just don't see how this is ever enough. 3 mana, play the Priest. We can untap this and spin. And then got block, block, block. Quirion seems good. Yeah. Well, that's just the fun police. Maybe we could have actually done something there. So Quirion, we'd have untapped this in a forest. We'd have spun if we found another forest where we live. I know we didn't have the a way to untap our guy. We need to find like Quirion into thing. So let's just run it back. I'm happy with our setup. Just where did it go wrong? We didn't really draw our big mana side, and they just had a good aggressive start, like the turn 1 Delver flip, and leading on from there. And I can keep this. It's not amazing. But like Generoscent is a house against mono blue if we can ever get up to 6 mana. Which 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 1 cycled 5. Obviously, like most of our deck is mana creatures, so play the Beast Rider. No, Piracy Charms the +2 +1. So a way to kill a creature, and it's what the blue gut shot, let's say. We have access to 3, 4, 5 mana, but I think I'm probably just Arbor Elves and cycle a Generoscent. Cycling a Generoscent doesn't really, I guess it puts us 1 mana ahead. Yeah, it's 1 mana every turn, whereas, you know, once we start querying at 4 mana, we can, we're a bit more stable. Can we take the blue source? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I will take the blue source. I'd kind of missed that. Otherwise, I could have played the blue source that turn as opposed to the forest, right? I missed that we were going to have to do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, do we cast a Generoscent and make them counter it, or do we just activate our Beast Rider guy? Kind of like just Beast Riding. Just, you know, if they're leaving up 2 mana, don't give them a target for counterspell. Obviously, they might well. I just attacked. What was that attack? Oh my god. Just need to keep these 2 back. Oh my god. And we can pick up 2 forests. Wow. Wow. How dumb was that? Oh my days. Just trading like an impulse for 2 damage is terrible for us here. Guess not an impulse, an anticipate. Yeah, what was I thinking? I was thinking that I'm not casting a spell and then, you know, was well, I'll attack first then and then do this in their end step kind of thing, because again, I'll be tapped out using it, so. Killing the query and then us just replacing it with another forest is quite fun. So we can give them we can Vanguard now when we should have the turn before. We can give them an end to start countering. Kind of like just giving them like seeing what the Vanguard can see. Just want to take any spell I can cast. And Arbor Elves fine. Like, it's not amazing, but it puts them under, it's more mana, you know, potentially a turn of them, potentially a turn chumping. If you look at it that way, we're taking a turn off, but we could not take damage if we choose to. Okay, so now is the time we need to try and resolve something which doesn't feel like it's going to happen. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 mana, which is Generoscent and a Vanguard, or just play a Hydra and a Vanguard. Yeah, obviously I'm thinking that we need to try and put a creature into play. Maybe we played wrong around Counterspell, because by delaying, like, the tempo swing's still there. We should have used our mana more efficiently last turn and just had 2 ways to make blockers. Yeah. I mean, these are the cards we've got now. If they have a second counterspell, that's kind of their last card. I don't think we were getting out of this one. Not without a Elvish Guidance. Now we can try and chump one of these. Take 13. Yeah, I don't think we. Obviously, we missed an anticipate, and that was really bad. We could have had another card in hand, and then I think that we needed to just get the first counterspell out of the way as opposed to. Okay. Yeah, as opposed to kind of have them plus an upper card, basically. As opposed to us being upper card. Whilst an Arbor Elf, you know, Arbor Elf works if they don't have another 2 terrors and a Delver. 5 mana activate, find an Elvish Guidance. I guess we can just enchant their Delver. They can pay to untap it. I've just kind of tapped some mana now to see what happens and realised that that's put us dead. I don't know if we can undo Arbor Elf. We can't. Well, that's a shame. Because the other thing just pay to untap. So playing an X1 Hydra just puts us dead on board. So let's activate now then. Let's just tap a load of our guys and activate. Yeah, okay. We just. I don't think we were winning that game at the start of this turn anyway. But shame that we just tapped the Arbor Elf. That was a bit silly. Yeah, my takeaway was on the turn that I just. So yeah, missing anticipate was bad. On this turn, when they then go 3 more creatures, I guess it's if they have a handful of counter spells, I would rather sit and activate the Vanguard and take that kind of longer-winded approach, not give them target. You know, they sit up on hold up a load of mana, sit on that. We're going to get ahead. They have a load of snakes. I would much rather just use their 2 counter spells, or use their 1 counter spell, resolve a guy. You know, they start chump attacking, but made the wrong read. They had good hands. Right, we are back in round 4, and we're going to keep Elf Printer go. So we've got a turn 2 Elvish Guidance. I mean, that's enough to make me not want to play the Elvish Guidance yet, and just to not let them know. And again, it exposes it to Mass Vandal. We can, you know, play around that as a way of losing this match, losing this game. We are just going to vomit our hands into play, because that is what we are set up to do. So they have a priest, so they're also making huge amounts of mana now. 1, 2, untap this, pick up this, 3, Elvish Guidance here. We both have Priest of Titania, look. We both got one. Bit worried about letting them put a creature in the graveyard. I guess if they do, then they are taking a bajillion from our Trampoly Hydra. I'll bestow this one because then they can't block this turn. We can attack for 11. You know, turn 3, natural. And then they've got to Masked Vandal this and make, you know, have a way to deal with the Hydra. They have a Masked Vandal. I think they maybe should have chumped then. Depends on if they have a General Ascent in hand. Or the other thing you can do is you can leave one of the Winding Ways behind. I had this come up when I was playing. What was I playing? Okay, now they found the General Ascent. So there's still questions whether they go after the Hydra or our Elvish Guidance. Hopefully they don't have 2 Masked Vandals. They go after the Hydra. Do you only have the 1? We like them only having the 1. So Jaspera Sentinel is free with the Guidance. Untap this, pick up this. So we're going to make 17 power. And they have less than 17 toughness. Indeed. The Elf Crusher. It's so funny. So I think I just decided I wanted the longbow, didn't I? And I was cutting, I don't know, like a Dwine's Elite. There's going to be enough elves. We're not going to be short on elves. Potentially we have a Fairy Macabre, because then we could exile creatures in their graveyard in response to a Mass Vandal. But that's getting pretty fancy, and I don't think we need to do that. think we just take that this should be a pretty good matchup for us. And this is, got potential for a lot of mana. I guess that we actually want to island cycle, forest cycle, get the island, but it doesn't matter the order that we do that in, does it? Because we can untap it with the Arbor Elf. So it's better to play the Arbor Elf first. They have a Timber Watch, which is very scary. Get the Islet, play the Islet, untap a forest. I think I'm just going to play my Quirion. There is options for just guidancing a ginormous creature next turn. Seeing as we've got Priest of Titania, Quirion, basically. I know we don't quite, do we? Because we need to pay 3 mana the first time. They find 2 Masked Vandals. Well, I'm not going to hang out my Elvish Guidance to get Masked Vandaled away. Whilst I have a Timber Watch, which is pretty scary, they're in this kind of awkward, hard for them to commit without overcommitting. That helps, because now this is like 10 damage. I'm going to say I think they should be attacking and not necessarily playing out more stuff, because we need to try and do something explosive. It depends what they've got. That doesn't make sense to me. I guess they're just trying to lock up the kill next turn. So I don't think we can kill them from here. Not with Timberwatch Quirion available. But let us see. How much damage are they going to have? They're going to have like 17. So we're going to have 9, 18, 27 mana. 27 mana is so much mana. But we can't. Obviously, that doesn't help us with the Nyxborn Hydra. Is well, it kills a guy, but then do they kill us on the crackback? I guess it thins out the number of elves, which helps. 8, 16, 19. So you kind of have to double block. 20. What am I thinking? They have to block, and we still kill from 20. So I think we can thin out their elf count by 1, and then still play a generous hint and eat the food. So bestow for 20. No, so we can't bestow for 20. Maybe we just play 2 generous hints, eat some food, and then play a huge Hydra, and just hope that they can't kill us by more than 6 if we've got some blockers. Then they can choose to just win both combats the Hydra's in, all the combats that we're blocking in, even if they can't kill us. If we bestow Hydra on Quirion, it costs 22. It costs 21 mana to make it 20 power, at which point they have to block. We eat a guy and go down to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus 16 is 21. So if we gain 6 life, they need to have 2 more elves in hand, which obviously is doable. I think I'm just gonna play some Ents. I figure that basically eating a guy isn't good enough. It doesn't reduce the clock by as much as making a Hydra, but as much as eating a guy doesn't reduce their damage as much as gaining 6 life does for us. Presumably, this is going after the Hydra. Okay. If we don't have more elves, maybe we live. How many more elves are over there? I'm not going to auto yield because we might end up having to untap the Quirion then still finding a way. If you only attack with 2 guys, I'm very happy, because these generous ents were basically bait. They can activate for 20, right? Plus 10, untap plus 10. We go down to 5. So we might as well keep a guy back. It's just 4 extra toughness, 4 extra power to put a query in on. Don't think I'm being an idiot here. I feel like if this is what you're doing, you really needed to go after the Elvish Guidance that's making... God damn it. Oh, they needed us to kill a guy. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, we had to block one of them anyway, didn't we? Right? We could have blocked with a Quirion. Can't believe it had 4 mass vandals. That's so sick. Yeah, even if we block both, they just... Yeah, okay. Yeah, happens. Let's run it back. Can't believe they had 4 mass vandals. Holy mana, Batman. I'm going to keep and just pray that we find something to do with it. We have 9 outs, right? Which are 4 Hydras, 4 Beastmaster guys, and 1 Longbow. I'm not going to play around anything. They are elves. I don't think they have any sweeper effects. Something good? Yeah, something good. It's so good. It's so good. For Elvish Guidance here. Elvish Guidance here. Tap, make 11. Untap. Just who needs infinite mana when you can have deterministic mana? So this is 2 turn 3 kills. This one didn't actually need them to have. Maybe it did with the Priest of Titania. It didn't. Feels like it didn't really need them to have be on elves. 2 turn 3 kills in 1 league. Deck's so fun. This is so busted. Right, we are back for round 5. I'm going to keep this again. We do have to draw something good, but alternatively we could just pair into fairies. That'll be alright too. It looks like it's probably going to be another Crackland Shaman deck, which is less good for us. That's a shame. I'm kind of hoping we get the 3-2 win the boosty. It's one of those difference of a positive record is. It does help. Makes you feel a bit more positive about. So this is a sign that this is probably like, well, between the Bottle Whispers and then the probably the actual Affinity, not Wildfire. So again, not that much different. Crackland Shaman, Breath Weapon on the radar. I don't think there's any point pumping the brakes. I think we just jam. Especially, I feel like if we draw we're going to have 4 elves in play. No, so even if we draw a Elvish Presence, this isn't infinite mana yet. We need to draw a land and a an elf and an Elvish Presence. The Galvblast are Arbor Elf, so they know we're up to no good. Or, they just kill our Arbor Elves. Makes sense. You wouldn't kill the Dwynen's Elite. You wouldn't kill a Dwynen's Elite. What are we up to now? They've missed the land drop. I don't think we bestow our Hydra for like next to no gain. Do we attack with that elf token? Do we give up on the ringing strike mastery? Feels weird not to attack with the elf, not the Dwynen's Elite. I'm taking the fact they're staying home as a sign that they don't want to attack. I don't think we're going to get in 20 damage via nuts and bolts. I think it's going to be either big creature with an X-Born Hydra or some bonkers big mana thing. They sack their guy now, so the coast becomes clear. Refurb, but we can feed a refurb. And they've got a Mirror Enforcer in hand because it's just come up saying they tried to pay a mana cost. So we can Priest of Titania now, which taps for 4, untaps for 2, so we need to draw a Dwynen's Elite for it to be infinite mana. I think we're just playing this and passing back. We'll keep the forest for another refurb, and yeah, no change on. We can't beat a Crackdown Shaman. Cast down. Makeshift Munitions is up there on the list of things we can't beat. We could have enchanted this with a Hydra for 1, but we're never going to realistically. I don't see how we're coming back from the munitions this game. Or like Elvish Peasants and we just go big on a Hydra straight away. I guess we can tap this and just make a big Hydra. It's not even that big though. Bestow this for 2. I don't like the sound of that. I guess we bestow it for 3. This becomes a 5/6. 5/5? Oh yeah, because it's yeah. Because it's not a +X+1, it's +X+X. The counters. They snuck that Mirror Enforcer through. I thought the first thing they played was a Thoughtcast. But I don't know, maybe we shouldn't have played this. Because if we draw the presence, we could have made a bigger Hydra and that would be more likely to matter. But I don't know, like maybe if we draw another Hydra, it could be fine. As is, like we can tap this down, attack for 7. I guess only 6 gets in. And then we'd have to stay back to chump something. Take 6 plus 4. I'm just getting out here. I don't want them to see that we've got Ringing Strike Mastery. This isn't in the deck if you're not up to no good. Oh god, we have no artifact hate. Yeah, we didn't spend very long thinking about a sideboard. Gonna have all of the ways to kill, like counter Crackdown Shaman. I think we settled on cutting some Dwynen's Elite, some Mana Elves. And let's run that back. I feel like on the play we might be able to get under some of their tap land hands. This I don't think we can keep, but we don't have the normal plan for elves into this kind of matchup where you start, just kind of get them off balance and then pick off some lands. Not get them off balance. You kind of do something, pick off some lands so they don't become balanced. So Forest, Jaspera, Sentinel. I'm not thrilled by this hand, but it's, I wasn't willing to 5. So we've got Dwynen's Elite, Birchlaw, Quirion. Just jam. They did mulligan to 6. It might be that they are mulliganing to Crack, but if they are, that is good enough. I don't want to kind of accidentally give them time to find it. Yep, that would do. I guess we keep 2 elves. Yeah, if they had to sacrifice their lands to do this, I guess they'd only have to sack. But if they can get this, oh man. So you're saying if we had waited, we had a shot. I'm going to attack now. I don't see that. If we find a way back into this, it's not by them. It's not by like missing a damage and blue blasting a Crack Clan. This stinks of a breath weapon though, which is a bit annoying. Maybe it wasn't a breath weapon. We just missed 3 damage. Who knows? We're getting to the point where we could activate a Beast Rider Vanguard sometime soon. Elvish Guidance now. We'll be able to potentially activate multiple times. They get the card out of our hand. Again, if there is a breath weapon or something, you know, another crack. So make green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Activate. I was going to say, I guess it's the priest. Priest is going to have 5 dudes. Yes, priest. That's kind of 2 turns from coming online, but better than our other options. We basically they've got an extra card in hand from the spell bomb. They need them to brick for 2 turns in a row. So they don't have black mana to draw a card yet. And we're not using our graveyard for anything. So I think that's just a bit of a mistake. We can just yield again. We've got nothing going on. No point pretending that we do. Every elf is sacred. So play priest. We could play Quirion as well. Or I guess we keep Quirion as refurb food. Quirion can pick up a forest to be refurb food. I'm just going to click because if they have a way to sweep the board, I don't see what we are doing against that. And then I think we're even just going to attack, just save some clicking for the next turn. Let's keep this guy at home because it could be blue mana. We can pretend to bluff. We're not really bluffing, our heart's not in it. You gotta mean it to bluff. See, I still think that they have just had a breath weapon this entire time. Yeah. I just feel like I got slow rolled. Well, maybe we rebuild again. Yeah, it felt like they had but then when you saw we had Blue Blast in our deck here, right? You wouldn't give us a chance to draw another one. Okay, that'll do. So we end up 2-3. We managed to beat Elves twice, but each of those wins in our heart counts as 2. Let's have a bit of a wrap up. Right, so to wrap up, this is kind of a stress test. What's the most absurd you can go with Elvish Guidance, Arbor Elf? And the answer is it's pretty absurd. I don't think this is, I think this is much, much worse than standard typical elves. Cutting all the winding ways, leave the stampede and so on is not very good. That's not a surprise to anybody, but I am glad that we tried this and we did get, we had a lot of fun those times where we turned 3 people. I think where it gets more tricky, if I come back to, I think it's this one. This is like the first league that I tried, where we had 3 Elvish Guidances. Everything else kind of looked more similar. Apart from we didn't. This one we kind of saved room by cutting the what's it called? Avenging Hunters. And like Timberwatch Elf is a bit of a dude. Like Elvish Guidance are both 3 mana things that don't necessarily affect the board straight away. But yeah, I think that this is Elvish Guidance Arbor Elf is quite cool. Does it have a home? I think it might do. It would be a conscious decision that you want to have some more big swingy openings as opposed to, the flat out consistency that the Elves deck, does have. Alternatively, I don't think, like, if we were another big X-Spell away, I don't think you would necessarily be, or like a harmonize, something that's another kind of lead the stampede type thing, but if it particularly drew cards, for example, as opposed to needing to hit creatures, I don't think you'd be far away from this being a good effect. I'm pleased about finding that I didn't know this card existed before, introduced a few people to the wonders of it, and turned 3 some people. Not an overall winning record, but winning in my heart.